Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope you caught the Red Bull Kumite preview episode I did. Unfortunately, quick update on that. Arslan Ash will not be attending. No. Because of visa issues, which sucks. And obviously, you know, the biggest downer is, of course, for him personally not being able to compete. And then I think the biggest downer for us is just robbed of the Arslan knee match that we all wanted. I don't think it will happen at CEO because I'm very skeptical that the visa issues will be resolved in the matter of a couple of weeks. So we missed that, but it's still really hype. Also, unfortunately, Fergus will not be making the LCQ due to testing positive for COVID-19. So the pandemic is not over yet, unfortunately. You know, we're getting there, but not quite. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty short episode about just one way to improve, and I think one way to stay motivated with Tekken that I have found, and that is just finding out like what Tekken means to you as a game or as a lifestyle or as a way of thinking. Really kind of take some time to just reflect on that. So, for example, is Tekken a fun way for you to be involved with the Tekken community, right? There's, a lot of great people in the Tekken community. It's, I think, a relatively supportive community. I mean, there's obviously a lot of not great things about the Tekken community, but, that's true with pretty much every game as far as I can tell. Um, is your view on Tekken a means of competition, right? Is Tekken meant to quench your competitive urge in your daily life? Is Tekken just a fun game? Do you just play Tekken to have fun? Is it just a kind of casual? I feel like casual is way too loaded of a term. Is it just like an outlet for having fun, for entertainment? Is Tekken scientifically interesting to you? So this is kind of my case, right? Where I think Tekken reflects really interesting phenomenon about human communication as well as kind of game properties. And thinking about it from an AI perspective, I find Tekken to be a really, really interesting game. And that's a large reason what drives me to play it, kind of, especially since I'm not the best, right? I'm not the best Tekken player. I'm not even in the top 500, top 10,000 Tekken players, probably. Maybe I'm top 10,000. But it kind of, that means I feel like there's a gap between my understanding of the game and a lot of top players understanding the game and trying to narrow that gap and hopefully understand things about Tekken that you know other people that even top players don't understand because I think Tekken's deep enough where you can really learn and dissect and analyze the game. So that's kind of my case. Maybe that's your case. Is Tekken a way to spectate? Right? I know people who play Tekken so that they can be involved enough to watch Tekken tournaments, right? Tekken tournaments are super hype. Of course, offline tournaments are the hypest, but Tekken has, I think, the best casters in all of fighting games. Like the best, the usual characters. So like Spaghetti Rip, Tasty Steve, Rip, K-Wiss. I mean, they're really just excellent, excellent high quality commentators. Rixta, MYK, of course. And I think Tekken has a lot of fun catchphrases, right? I think there's also, are you in it for the characters, right? Do you really like the story of the characters? Kind of why am I asking you to reflect on this and think about this is because if you understand like why you're into Tekken and why you keep playing it, or why you keep engaging with it, or why you keep watching it, I think it becomes a lot easier to just chill, not chill out, but just to relax, have fun, and improve in the game, right? So, for example, uh, recently, due to the blasted salamis video going over Tekken character, there's been like a lot of difficulty conversation, and I think for most people listening to this podcast, if you're a beginner, I think those difficulty measures are great. They're very well thought out, and they kind of they're obviously a subjective opinion from the Blasted Salami team, but nonetheless, they showcase what a lot of community members think, and that's valuable information to have. I think character guides like that are great, especially for new players. And I think a lot of people listening to this podcast probably have made up their mind about how difficult or how complex they view certain characters. And I kind of, from a personal perspective, I think that shouldn't be too much of a conversation, right? I think in terms of how big it, I mean, it's like maybe the biggest conversation in the Tekken community. And I think the Tekken community or yourself personally, if you want to improve the most, like, don't worry too much about it. Don't worry too much about how difficult your character is or whether or not you should be playing a different character. Just find why you're playing Tekken in the first place and kind of enjoy it for that sake. And maybe you do enjoy it for character difficulty, controversy, and critiquing the game, and that's your right to do so. And roll with that. Pick the hardest, find the hardest character, and play the hardest character if that's your way of enjoying the game. But just think about it for a bit, and I think you'll find like a lot of motivation and a lot of improvement, especially because you'll essentially know how to formulate and build up your own play style, right? So, in my case, my play style, I try and be as calculated as possible, and I end up overthinking. Like it's kind of bad because I end up thinking, and I'm not very fast at thinking, so I just lose. um, but I can improve on that, and I do improve on that. And I think finding your own play style through recognizing why and what you like about Tekken will, help you develop as a player. I know this podcast was more geared towards, beginner or intermediate players. I think a lot of people do already know this, but just roll with it, have fun with Tekken, have fun enjoying the game. I'm We're 90% sure Tekken 8 is coming pretty soon, probably again once the pandemic settles down. And yeah, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Thank you.